Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Nubia smartwatch. It's the smartwatch that has a display that starts on one side and the actual display ends all the way on the other side. It's a folding display that we've seen, somewhat of a successor to the Nubia Alpha that we've seen before. And of course, I want to share with you guys my experience after using this for the last week. This is TK and this is XTA TV. So here we have the Nubia smartwatch. The overall experience is pretty much, I would say, the exact same way you'd expect the smartwatch to behave. The only difference obviously is that we have a larger display here. This is a I would say just 4-inch display. It starts from one side, goes to the other side. And you're able to turn on more of an always-on display type of watch. So you don't actually have to activate the entire display all the time. The processor that we have here is the Wear 2100, roughly about 2 years old, 1 gig of RAM, 8 gigs of internal storage. Battery capacity should be able to last us about 36 hours. For me, roughly about 24 hours. The glass or the display that's made here is made by the same companies that make the displays for the Z Flip or the Z Fold. And it's actually basically called the shot glass, not necessarily a shot glass like the one we drink, but the actual name is the shot glass. And it is foldable. One thing to mention, it does not actually fold outwards, it just folds inwards to make it fit the wrist. So it actually does fold when you're putting it on your wrist. And as far as connectivity, we have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, as well as GPS. And of course, the display resolution is 960 by 192. And overall, as far as the experience, what you're getting here essentially is standard smartwatch experience. So swiping down from the top, we have access to the notification panel. You're able to basically swipe from the bottom, actually access the notifications themselves. But from the top, we have the wrist, the Bluetooth, the brightness, vibration, do not disturb, GPS, and we also have a mode here that is actually called the enable power saving mode, which is what we've seen on their Kickstarter campaign, where they say they're able to last up to 7 days by just using this, which essentially limits the function of the watch to be able to last us that long. If you want to be able to enjoy it, I personally would say just use it for the full benefit, and you're able to get, from what they're saying, is up to 36 hours. For me, with sleeping as well as doing obviously a run, it pretty much lasts me about 24 hours. As far as the actual watch face, you're able to select multiple faces, and there is a lot that are built in, although there is no way to download additional ones currently. I am using this smartwatch face mostly because it kind of looks cool on both sides, and of course the display looks nice. But if we swipe from the left, swipe from the right, or even just press the power button, we're able to access the settings or the different apps that are installed. And also, no way to additional add any apps right now. This is pretty much what it comes with. Calls, messages, pretty standard. Fitness, which is what I've been using it, so you can actually use the free workout, outdoors, indoors, and outdoor running, and you do have the GPS tracking. And then of course we have health, which is pretty much the step tracking, night tracking, heart rate monitoring, and as I mentioned, it does have that all built into there. Heart rate monitoring, pretty standard. You just go in there, select it, and then let it go, and it does keep track of all that information, and it'll basically put it back directly into the app itself. Before we jump into the settings, there is that nice little marquee option here that gives us access to some very unique features, which kind of use the whole display. And I really wish there was a way for me to be able to kind of keep this on all the time, and then whenever I want to use the watch, just use it from there. But these options are actually present in there. You can turn them on. I posted about this over on my Instagram yesterday, or actually a couple of days ago. The overall experience is very straightforward from there. We'll go one more back and go back into settings. We have a compass, calendar, clock for stopwatch, find my phone, and of course the ability to play music. Pretty standard, straightforward, mostly. And of course, under settings, you're able to basically customize the gestures, updating if there's any updates, health tracking, sound, display, and of course BT, wireless connectivity, and everything works pretty much the same. The experience of using this watch for the last week has been very, very unique. The watch itself does come with an additional strap that's included in the box, so that's something to keep in mind. But the watch itself actually does not fold outwards, which means this is a folding display. So again, 4 inches display, and it's made by a company called, the glass is called shot glass, which is not shot like the drink, but essentially the same glass that you can expect or display that you see on the Z Fold or the Z Flip. The actual unit itself does not fold outwards, so this actually is pretty rigid. There's mechanisms here for it not to do so, but it does fold inwards a little bit. And what I mean by this is just to adjust to the size of your wrist. Because if you think about it this way, this is more of a standard arch. You're able to customize it by changing the different pieces here. That's something to keep in mind. You're able to also replace this side. But they also include one smaller strap that's smaller for a smaller wrist. For me, it fits perfectly fine. I'm able to put it in here. Charging it is pretty straightforward also. They include a magnetic clip, which you're able to put on. I'll go ahead and put that in. Actually, that was pretty cool. Micro USB included charger as well, and of course just charges it this way. Rated to be charged from 0 to 100% in about 85 minutes. Overall, for me, what I do is I run it for 24 hours, and I've been doing that for the last week. And what I do essentially is the next morning at about, basically when it's gone for 24 hours, I put it on the charger for about an hour. And then by the time I'm done doing my normal stuff, checking emails, responding to a whole bunch of different things, the watch is at 100%. Now, there is a companion app that you can use on both Android or iOS. It's called Nubia Watch, well, Nubia Wear. It is not running Android Wear, it is running its own software, and of course only syncs up to the Nubia Wear. So no integration with Google Fit or any other applications. You can check out your sport activity, your heart rate, your today's sleep, information, device management. You're also able to basically customize your notifications, what shows up on your phone, syncing your contacts as well as your calendars, again, since it doesn't really connect to your Google account. The marquee option is what we were looking at before. Music management, we're able to add songs to it, photos to it, and pretty much just standard overall experience. I do recommend checking for OTA updates straight on the watch by just going straight in here, go into the settings tab, go into settings, and then go about system. And once you connect it over Wi-Fi, you're able to basically jump into system update and then of course check for updates this way. Very simple, very straightforward, and since it has built-in Wi-Fi, it works really nice. And we're running the latest version. Press it one more time, takes us back, and then we're back on the home screen. So using the smartwatch for the last week, I would say first and foremost, most of the functions that you normally expect out of the smartwatch are here. So notifications will come through, you're able to see them, not able to interact with them. You're able to basically obviously get your steps, your heart rate, and of course your fitness, and of course last but not least your sleep tracking. So all of those things typical to what you normally expect from a smartwatch. The experience of using the watch itself needs to have the Nubia Wear application installed on either your iPhone or your Android. I've been using it with the, as you can see here, the Find X2 Pro. It works really nice. There's not much really to be said about this other than the fact that you need the app to actually sync up most of the information. So notifications, contacts, calendars, pictures, and music all need the app to be able to transfer to it. No way for me to download additional watch faces, although I would imagine with any update that Nubia pushes out, we'll have more. And of course, the experience of using it for 7 days, you do need to turn on that power saving function. So yes, it can last 7 days, but it's not as functional. So I would say probably it's really more of a last mile kind of an experience. So you, let's say down to this last 20% or 10%, and you want the watch to last you for another day or so, you can turn it on and then boom, you have a watch that lasts you till you're able to get to the charger. So my experience using it, again, I would say is actually pretty positive. But I would definitely be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that the display is not protected. It's a cool looking display. It's a 4-inch display that has a lot of real estate to be able to use. But at the end of the day, the wrong bang against the wall or the corner of a table could potentially damage the display. It's rated to be IP54, which means it's splash resistant, not water resistant, what I would meaning don't go swimming with it. But again, for cool tech, a really nice successor to the Nubia Alpha. I think this is a great selection from Nubia, and I hopefully will see some more updates and more information coming there. Please let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the Nubia Alpha? Is this something that you would consider upgrading to? And if you have or have not checked out my Instagram account to just see that video that I posted with the music, I used the marquee settings to be able to do some nice little syncs in there. So again, like and subscribe. Make sure you check out my channel. Thank you very much for the support. And of course, see you guys in the next video.